Good afternoon, everybody. We are live with the Hive at 2:05 today. We actually got it right on time, which is exciting. Today we are here with actor, producer, acting instructor, all of that kind of stuff. Lawrence Gamell. He is a veteran of the stage and the screen, and we are very blessed to have him in the cast as Pastor Lawrence, who is a very unconventional pastor. I will just say that. I don't want to give anything away. Lawrence, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Lacey.
And first questions first. How did you get started in the biz?
It was in my blood kind of thing. Where I was 5 years old, but my mom said even when I was one, she wrote, Larry's an actor, and so I used to play around and perform for my relatives and stuff, my grandmother, stuff like that. And then when I got into, let's say elementary, no, actually before that, I used to do little church plays, and then when I got into elementary, I did little plays, and my mother and father were divorced when I was younger, very cool together. And at age 15, I went to move with him, and he had a business. And I joined the Toba West Theater Company, which was meant tough on black actors. And Ethel Waters was a member of that company at one point in time. So I was surrounded by a lot of great people. And I ended up getting the lead role in the play called The Lion Who Wouldn't. And I was the lion tamer. And it was a musical. And I don't know how I got the musical because I can't sing. But it was a nice little kid show. And then I was asked to become the youngest actor in the adult company. I was 16. I did Soul Gone Home. I did Black Terror, which was Richard Wright. Some of the cast from there got into the Roots 2. And then I also had a private teacher by the name of Al Troop, who was a TV actor, and did private lessons with him, and got advice from Cy Richardson, who was from famous actor, movies like the movie Colors and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I was surrounded by a lot of good people that helped me become a better actor, because I was always doing plays. That's why I said I've done over 150 plays in my career. So I was always doing plays and productions and toured. I toured in a play called Voices, which was a teenage production company. And then later on, I moved into doing films and movies, writing my own projects. I remember doing a film at 15. One of the students at the high school, John Muir High School in Pasadena, California, that I was with, his father was a film producer. So we did this movie with knights, and I had armor. I was a captain, had a British accent, and it was something else. And then 16, I got a pilot with the film called with a Project TV called Paper Boys, which was George Bloom Jr. And his father was one of the creators and producers of Welcome Back, Kotter. And just kept meeting people along the way. And that's a good thing about the biz. You need that connection and that inspiration. So young producer at 18, producing my own shows and plays. So, and then I moved into producing my own and writing and directing my own movies at that time also.
Wow. So you're not a native of this area, right?
No. I'm from California originally.
California. So how did you end up here in Pensacola?
Well, that goes back to around age 24. I moved to New Orleans, which I seen the movie Angel Heart, and a friend of mine, he played Lisa Bonet's son. So he came to visit, and I said, I've been doing my own productions. I just did a production called Hard Run, which was about a serial killer that kidnapped children. And it was about a half hour long. And he saw that. He said, well, I want to invest in your next project. So I ended up taking a trip to New Orleans, stayed there to visit my sister for about a week. Then I said, I'm moving to New Orleans. So as soon as I got back to California, got back in the car and said, I'm going to New Orleans, live there. So I went and lived in New Orleans for about 5.5 years, did work there. I got my SAG card through actually, I was eligible for it when I did a film called False Witness with Felicia Rashad and Philip Michael Thomas. And she was great. She would tell me, stay true to yourself. And she was really cool. She gave me advice. And I remember Philip Michael Thomas really smelled too perfumey because he sprayed this stuff all over him. And so then I did different stuff there. I did In the Heat of the Night. And I was one of the killers when Harry DeLong, her sister was killed. I'm that other guy. And I just kept moving and grooving. And I did work there. I did This Gun for Hire with Robert Wagner, where I played one of the leads, but they took away my lines. But I'm through the entire production. That's the one thing, you pay your dues. You know, you think, I got it. This time I got it. It's like, no, I don't have it yet. But I'm in there. And I did different work in New Orleans. I was actually a print model at one point, but mostly like stuff in Paris. And we go to Paris or Europe, and I had curly hair and all that stuff like that. Yeah, that's before I got older. But that helped me. And I had a couple of managers, a couple of agents, and I did commercials. And I remember meeting on the set, we were doing a Bell commercial, and I met Gary Sturgis and Frederick Lewis. And Gary Sturgis would end up knowing Tyler Perry, and he was the guy who was the drug dealer in Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And I'll share a quick story with you, which I'm okay with, but still. He came out to the set, and Gary said, hey, there's this guy. He's got this great character. It's an old woman, and her name is Deer, and his name is Tyler Perry. I'm like, well, okay, cool. I said, but I'm doing a detective story, man. I don't know how I can use him. So I met him. He came to the set, and he was like, he hadn't made it big there. I was like, sorry, man, I can't do nothing for you, man. I mean, I wish I could. I was honest. And so, now, it's like, but yes, I met him. And even when I was in college, I was told to skip a shoot that I was supposed to do. And this guy said, I know I'm your cameraman, but let's skip the shoot. There's these people I want you to meet. What are their names? One's Charlie Sheen and one's Emil Estevez. Sheen's like, nah, man, I can't do that. There's people waiting for me in Pasadena. We can hang out with them. I can't do that, man, because I got people waiting to shoot the film when we're working on it. So I was true to my film, but sometimes you make errors. It's like, huh? What? Huh? So but when I went to New Orleans and I got back to I went back to California, and then I ended up touring as Dr. King for 5 years for this company called Mobile Air Productions, and also lived in Las Vegas. So I did a series called The Watcher, which was like a Twilight Zone, and ended up working on shows with Neil McDonough and a lot of famous actors. And they wanted to actually make me The Watcher because Sir Mix-a-Lot was doing it. But then it got canceled. It was one of the first series on UPN. That's where I got to work with D.L. Hughley and Ricky Harris. And then I went back again, and I started my own theater company at a place called the Cubalon Culture Center. And great woman, Versie Mae Richardson. She was the first African-American woman that was a real estate broker in California. So she had this center, which is still there today. She gave me a chance. So I had a theater company for several years, and then did other projects back and forth. And I ended up getting Ray. Now, Ray was done in 2002. So I'm waiting for this movie because it was called Come Unchain My Heart. Yeah, it wasn't called Ray. So I'm telling people like, I got this, did this movie with Ray, and Unchain My. Yeah, sure you did. And they see Collateral with Jamie Foxx. I'm like, that's not my movie yet. And a lot of people didn't believe me at first, and then boom, Ray came out, and I was working as a contractor at a hospital doing claims, and I started getting more and more work back and forth in New Orleans, and so I ended up. My mom was retired here, so I ended up leaving California and coming to Florida. Because mom's older, I want to be closer to her and help her out if needed. And so I ended up here in Pensacola, and I came here, in 2006, and actually tried out for the director at PLT. That didn't move. And then I became an adjunct instructor at Pensacola State College, and met a woman, Frances Yo, and she helped me get involved in what I wanted to do. I said I wanted to have a little theater company here, so I had a lunch theater in the cafeteria PSC, which was interesting, and kids college. I've done that for a while, and I have kids that are actually doing pretty good. I just had one that called me from California. She got a commercial, and she was 9 when she was in my class, and so and then I put on plays at PSC every year. Usually just one show. I wish I could get more, but there's a budget. But we have some good shows that pop up.
Very nice. Wow. Someone said impressive experiences and at such a young age. So yeah, that's definitely did a lot. So what do you think is the hardest role that you've ever had?
As far as theater, I say Othello, because I did that at my theater company with the Gamell Players, and I directed it, and I was Othello, and ended up being a hit. And the thing is that I had everybody do it in a South African accent, and took place in the 1980s. So they had to actually study that accent and do Othello in it. So mine was Nigerian, and Othello, and it was good. It was crazy, because I remember one time I was directed, and they were so frustrated, and I think my assistant said, "Just go and yell at them." I'm like, I don't like to yell at people. And the actor's like, "Go and yell at them and curse them out a bit. It'll be fine." I'm like, so I went in there and yelled at them, cursed them out a few tears, like, "We're ready to go now." People, actors and actresses, man, just do the work, just do the work. But after that, they were great, and we had a great show. We ran for three weeks over. So I was like, actors.
Wow. Yeah. So
I know I won, but doggone it, And I think my toughest maybe film role was more than likely Ray. Even though I don't have a lot to say in there, I was out of practice for a minute, and I remember saying the lines. I don't know what the heck I was saying. And Lorenz Tate said, "Do it again. Do it again." And Jamie Foxx walked away, because he had his eyes glued, for real. Yeah, his eyes were glued throughout the entire production. He wanted to be that realistic. And I remember when the movie came out, it was a hit. And but I mean, that was tough. And the director cursed me out, And there's this famous director, he directed Officer and a Gentleman, He's like, if you don't understand the beep beep and the beep beep and the what the beep 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 and the beep beep, I think I scared him more, because I didn't react. I'm like, and he looked at me. This guy didn't react to me at all. So he didn't really bother me after that. I just shot the scene. He didn't bother me at all. But what was also cool was that I wish I had a camera then. I mean, a phone with a camera. Just me, Jamie Foxx, and Lorenz in the middle of the set, and it's in a small town, and there's all these cars from the 50s, and they made the downtown look like that, and they have this huge crowd around you, and just taking it in. That was a great moment. And what was tough is when the movie came out, and I'm uncredited, even though I'm in there, and I don't know what I was thinking. I called the director's office. I said, "Look, man, I'm not on the credits." And the secretary's like, "Yes." It's like, "Well, you need to put me on the credits." And she's like, "Wait a minute. The movie's gone out all over the world, and you want us to bring back all the movies and put your name on it?" I said, "Yeah." And she says, "Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put you to his answer machine, and you tell him on the answer machine. I'm like, look, man, you should put me on the credits of Ray. What's wrong with you? That was wrong. And I think I spewed for like 10, 15 minutes. And I think I thought it would be bad, but I think it went okay for me. Like, this guy's got guts. He's kind of crazy, but okay. So I got on the IMDb page, and I actually got more work after that. He's like, this guy's nuts. Just give him something. Just make sure you put his name on there too.
Wow.
So yeah, I was, because it was like all these years you wait for something, and it's like, man, nah, man, nah, man. The LA came out me, nah, bruh, nah. You gonna put my name on all, but you better bring back all the copies of Ray that you said. I don't care if they're in Japan and Germany. Bring them back and put them back on me. Yeah, my name. So,
Wow, I don't think I would have had the courage to do that, but
well, afterwards,
you know,
I was like, what the
temporary insanity.
Very insanity, man. Very insanity. You know, but I can't say that all movies I've done, there's a special thing about them. They're just something unique about them, and that's what an actor, I think, needs. There has to be a uniqueness in the work, because there's hundreds of movies made every day, hundreds. But each one of my movies still play. They all play, because you know, you'll see actors on stuff like Vlad TV. I got something for 30 cents or something, you know, which you can get, but my movies stay, and at least 2 or 3. I mean, I'm on TV all the week in something that I've done, and that's what you want as an actor, because if there's a pause between work, people will see you, and producers will see you, and they know you're out there, and that's how they associate you with getting work. Well, he did this. And when I did Ray, they can always go back, you did Ray? That's always a plus, always.
Wow. So what kind of obstacles, as an African American, actor, especially as long as you've been in the industry, would you say that you've had to overcome in your acting career?
Some just, is finding your niche, what your character is. You can't do everything you want, because maybe you're not that particular type. But I think I've grown a niche where I'm kind of like that guy that's like the middle of the fence, where I've had a chance to play fire captain, preachers, bad guys, serial killers, cops, and then doing my own projects over the years. That satisfied a certain need where I say, well, I want to play spy, so let me write a spy thing. I want to write a film noir, so I do that. That's where you can find that satisfaction as a talent that maybe you can't get on the big screen or whatever, but as long as you have a mix, you'll be okay. I think that as an African American actor, it was studying the director, and I recommend that for anyone. Go on IBDM, see what kind of movies that director does, and see his style, and then try and fit into that puzzle, because that's what it is. You're supposed to fit into a puzzle. When I got Ray, I knew I had Ray beforehand. The only reason I knew that is because I said, well, Jamie Foxx is 5'9", 5'8", whatever, about the same height. And these other guys, 2 or 3 guys, are like 6'4", 6'5". I said, the camera isn't going to be good with him, because what they're going to have to do is change the angle. It's going to take time. It's going to be wasting money, yada, 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 yada. That's why if you look carefully in Ray, in the scene I have in the beginning with Lorenz and Jamie Foxx, they put a suit on me, a jacket, a coat, a sweater, another coat, another jacket, so I look bigger. I mean, I was bigger then, but I wasn't that big. And then the curve goes up, so I'm on the top of the curve, so that's why I look so tall. And I knew they could adjust me, but the other guys, they weren't going to be able to adjust, waste of time, this and that. So those little things where you find out about the director, his style of how he likes to do things. Like when I did Feuille de Launch, you know, that was a quick scene, but it was with Zoe Deschanel, and knowing how she works on camera, and when I worked with Jim Carrey, which was really, really great. He's a funny guy. Funny guy. I kind of messed up on purpose a couple of times because he was just, he was actually like, you know, saying my line ahead of time. No, man, not yet. Like, okay, yeah, okay. Yada, yada. No! You did it wrong. I'm like, okay. But he was fun. He was fun. So I'm sorry about that, Jim. And he cracked up. Ah, don't worry about it. But it's just finding your niche. You're gonna run into things where they cast against character, like when I did Ardene's Fury with Joseph Lawson and Chris Olin Ray. It was, the part was for a young 24-year-old Caucasian guy, and you know, because they do the various movies of the other movie, like Fury. This was supposed to be Fury. So, and the thing was is that they went with me, and that was a cool thing. And every now and then, people go against the grade, like when I did what was it, Golden Boy in Long Beach Playhouse in California. I played an Italian guy, you know, I talk like this, and then you get that boy in trouble, I'm gonna take care of you. Don't you do that at all. You take care of that boy. So for some strange reason, the Caucasian people in the audience really thought I was a dark Italian. Like, no, black guy. You're not Italian? No, I'm not Italian. Oh, okay. All right. That's interesting. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, so if I can convince them of that, you know, then I knew with what I was doing, I could convince different people. I could play different characters. Is there that thing in Hollywood, of course, where they say, well, no, you can't play that part. No, you can't play that part. You just got to fight through that. You know, that's just part of it. You know, in this business, what I also want to tell people is that it's a lot of nepotism. You know, if you look back and you really look at the people who have made it in certain things really quickly, they're related to somebody. Their cousin, a nephew, a niece, an uncle, a daughter. They just are. They're hiding it. You know, when I sat down with Chris Pine on Just My Luck, I didn't know who he was. I said, hey man, both our toilets in our little trailers were messed up, and it was hot, and Lindsay Lohan hadn't showed up yet. So we're sitting there like, hey, how you doing? I'm Chris Pine. Okay, yeah, cool, yeah. And that's another mistake I made because I got his number. I lost it. And I said, I lost Captain Kirk's number. When I look back like, Chris, I said, man, you weren't just a day player. He didn't even tell me who he was. Really, he's like a Chris Pine. I said, oh, cool. You're in a movie? Yeah, I'm in a movie. I play Lindsay's friend. He was the male lead, you know. And I'm like, hey, man, can I talk to you sometime? Yeah, keep in touch. Oh, here you go. Yes, Alicia, I've made some bonehead mistakes. Bonehead mistakes. And I thought I was a good schmoozer. I'm like, Captain Kirk, I could have Klingon or something, you know. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. We won't have you get the phone numbers then next time. You won't be the phone numbers guy for sure.
Yeah, I had an event, our just competition years ago in the 80s. He had just done a soldier's story, but Adolf Caesar passed away, and my girlfriend at the time said, hey, why don't you hang out with this guy? What guy? Denzel Washington? Okay. So we hung out for an hour or so, man. An hour or so. He was cool. He was quiet. He just upset. I didn't want to bother the guy because his friend just passed away. But I think I got his number too and lost it. You know, yeah, man. It's like, you know. But I've met a lot of people, and I've had some shots. I know.
I see that. I try not to be upset about the Denzel thing because he's my guy.
Yeah, I know. He's a nice guy. Nice guy.
Seems like he would be.
Yeah, I didn't really want to hang out with him. I'm like, where you going? Don't be mingling. I got to hang out with Denzel Washington for. Why don't you come back and see me? Just sit down with. Yeah, I didn't. I was like looking at her like, where's she going?
Oh,
She doing. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, Lordy. It's 2020 always, isn't it?
Yeah.
So again, you've been in the business for 50 plus years. You've had such an amazing career, and something that I would say like probably most actors dream of having. What advice do you have for actors to have like the longevity in the business that you've had?
Just be honest with yourself, because you're a type. And once you figure out your type, then you'll know what they want from you and accept from you. I mean, audition as much as you can. We're in a different place right now where you can do your own thing too. So if you get frustrated, or you don't feel you're being noticed enough, you do stuff like you do. You do a movie, you get it out there. That's what I was doing at a young age. And they told me I couldn't do it. They said, well, no one's going to watch video. So, ever. What's wrong with you? No one watches video. And so now, most of my stuff was on video, and I was consistently doing things. And, you just, if you love it, then you'll stick with it. Because some people just want it for the fame and the money. That's not necessarily something that could automatically happen. It's just, it's a dream to have that, and it can happen, but you have to have a lot of patience and see where it brings you and that type of thing, and be true to yourself. It's a tough business because a lot of people that make it, they do things that aren't really cool, morally cool. That's just a fact. I've seen that. They're like, we want to be famous? Okay, this is what I want from you. I'll make you famous. And it's like, I don't want to do that. So if you don't want to be that type of person or individual, my mom would always say it might take you longer. And there's also which is a great thing. And I knew some people early on that they were the start of this kind of business, but religious movies, are very popular, and people do those a lot. If they don't want to get into Hollywood and want to, the bad side of it, and you just have to be patient. It took me years to be able to get lines. They would say, you got the part, but you can't say anything, huh? You got the part, but you can't talk. What the hell? So when you get those one or two liners or whatever they may be, or the scene, just know that you're part of a picture, a puzzle, and that's the difference in film and TV. What you say, if you read the script, and when you audition for it, you say, oh, this means this to this character, or to move the story along, so I need to say it this way. And there is a difference between auditioning in the form of a stage actor to a film or TV actor. It's different mediums. So you got to bring it down a little bit, when you audition as a, TV or film actor.
No.
I want to go over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So yeah, you gotta learn, don't go in there doing Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And I said, I shall cross the street, therefore I will wait. Was that good?
That was.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll be in touch with you and
Send the
your
next person
agent.
in.
Don't ever send him in again, Hannah. And when you get an agency, look around the room and see if there's somebody that looks like you. That's one lesson I learned. If somebody looks just like you. Sometimes an agent will take you in to keep you off.
Wow.
I learned that with an agent. I learned, a lot of people don't know that. There was a guy that looked just like me, and I remember having an argument, like, why did you send me out for Panther? Because you look like the client I've had for 2 years. What? And they sign you to a 6-month contract, and you won't get an audition. And I learned that. They won't give you an audition. It's like, I'm working on this person, not you. Yep.
That I never knew that. That's shady.
Yeah,
That's shady.
it is.
Wow.
Yeah, you just do that. I'd rather this person than you. Yep. Won't send you out. Say, why didn't you send me out on that? Because. I'm like, what the man? And for 6 months, you can't do anything.
Wow.
You'll just be like,
that.
Well, I could have gone out on this, that, and the other. Yeah, they do that. They do that.
Wow. That is something to know. I had no idea. But I appreciate you spending the time to hang out with me today. I can't wait to get on set with you and do our scenes together, and hopefully learn from your experience as well to make myself, a better actor. And I know you've done some directing, so maybe you can give me a hand there.
Yeah, whatever you want. Whatever you need from me.
Yeah.
I'll just whisper to you. You did there?
But no phone numbers for you.
Yeah, no phone number. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Remember Alicia? Yeah, I did a movie with her. And, I had her number. I had her number. She doesn't call me back.
I wonder why.
She blocked me on Facebook too, but I knew her.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, well, thank you everyone who tuned in. Chanel, my friend Chanel, thank you for commenting. If you would like to support our indie film, you can go to our GoFundMe link in the pinned post. We would love it if you would follow us on Facebook and the Gram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can generate some buzz for our film. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
There you go. Thank you. All right, Elisa.
All right.